What happens to an organisation when it has no security culture? It's a really good question. Before we go anywhere, let's have a look at what culture actually is. Culture is tacit and elusive in its very nature. It's often unspoken, based on the behaviours hidden in the thoughts and minds of people. We often see it embedded in an organisation's framework, such as their vision, mission, or values, which can also describe the attitudes they have towards various things like, do they value tradition over innovation? Do they focus on people or process? Do they embrace change, or will they fight it every step of the way? There's also observable culture, which is the way organisations may welcome new starters, or they come together or not in times of crisis. How do they manage performance? How about celebrating birthdays? And how do they respond to change or remote work requirements when COVID came into play? Culture is also how you go about the day-to-day work when no one is watching, which has been highlighted a lot as we did move to remote work. We saw that uptick in cyber incidents from people working at home because they didn't have IT down the hallway or someone next to them where they could ask for help. And we're familiar with the term toxic culture, which describes an organisation that is not really a nice place to be, where people are mean or no one really wants to come to work and bad behaviour gets rewarded or even ignored, and the general perception is not all positive. So what about security culture? Well, it depends on who you ask. We've asked quite a few people over the years of what is security culture, and over 1,000 people were asked this very question, and we got 758 unique responses to that. What that tells us is that there's some common threads with what people think security culture is, but what is it? A good security culture is where people are making the right decisions when it comes to security. They're aware of the cyber threat landscape, they know what red flags to be on the lookout for, and they know to report all suspicious activity, and they understand their role in cybersecurity as the human endpoint. Because cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, let's face it. Now, the benefits of having a culture of security versus not having one is vast. I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. If employee A at your organisation with no security culture gets an email from a bank they don't bank with, clearly it's suspicious. What you would like them to do is what person B would do who works at a place that does have a culture of security. They'll report it even though they don't bank there. Without a security culture, people, I'll just delete it. I don't bank with them anyway. But if you have people who understand the importance of reporting everything that is suspicious so that the IT team can look into it, that's the culture of security you want. How about the people who find a USB in the car park on their return to work? Person A, working in the place with no security culture, is probably going to plug that in and see what's going on. Person who does work at a place with a security culture knows the risks of plugging in that USB and will hand it to the cyber team or the IT team to investigate it further. It's the decisions people make when it comes to a security decision that needs to take place. You want to make sure that you have a culture of security so they're making the right decisions at that time. Thank you. Have a good day. Stay safe, my friends.